This is Terrence Andre Banks with Information Age Financial Solutions coming to you again about the economy. And I've got an article from NPR, especially holds dear to my heart for real estate, which I'm heavily involved in. And it seems, again, such a disconnect because the impact of so many people being unemployed, it really hasn't been felt enough yet. Because in most markets, prices are still up. You have, that onset other places, and people still touting that real estate is going to continue moving in a certain direction, and it usually there's a lag time, at least 6 to 8 months. So this article really puts things in perspective. If you're in the real estate space, you're thinking like I'm thinking that this is insanity, because if you tell where you're at, the market hasn't changed that much, or in fact, houses are still being overbid. People are still moving in, and there's still being the lack of inventory. Doesn't mean that is going to stay. And usually, again, I report back to the lag time it takes before really economic events really take hold. So I'm going to dive right into this article. As always, I'm going to put a link inside the description. Millions of Americans skip payments as tidal wave of defaults and evictions looms. And this is definitely worth your time to listen to this video here about this individual talking, and they explain a particular situation with John Baird. John Baird and his wife Nicole say they had decided between making their car payment and buying food since he lost a job in the pandemic. His mortgage and auto lenders told him he didn't qualify for help. See, some people are not getting that assistance that has been touted so much. Americans are skipping payments on mortgages, auto loans, and other bills. Normally, that could mean massive foreclosures, evictions, car repossessions, and people's credit getting destroyed. But much of that has been put on pause. Help from Congress and leniency from lenders have kept impending financial disaster at bay for millions of people, but that may not last for long. The problem is that these efforts aim to create a financial bridge to the future for people who lost their income in the pandemic, but the bridge is only half built. For one thing, the help still isn't reaching many people who need it. My wife has filed certified every week for her unemployment for 10 weeks now, and have done nothing, said Jonathan Baird of Brewston, Tennessee. We've struggled. Baird is a disabled veteran, not injured in wartime, who gets a small disability pension. When the pandemic hit, his wife lost her job as a home health aide. That was most of their income, and like many other contract workers, she has run into long delays trying to collect unemployment. Meanwhile, Baird says his mortgage company told him that he didn't qualify for a federal program to postpone payments. Many homeowners have been given wrong or misleading information from lenders about that, and it appears that this is what happened in Baird's case. Baird also called Ford to try to get a break on the payments for his pickup truck. When I contacted them, they told me, this is from him speaking directly, there was nothing they could do. He says, just basically make your payments or suffer the late fees. He says a call center worker told him that he didn't qualify for any help because he was late on the car payment last year. When NPR contacted Ford, the company said this is not its policy, and after viewing the case, the company is now letting Baird skip his next car payment, which he says is a big help. We're paycheck to paycheck like most people, he says. And when you take away that paycheck, especially for the length of time, we have to make the decision of vehicle or food. And the reason why I'm bringing this up again is because I've done articles in the past where individuals who were already struggling in forbearance programs before this crash and epidemic, before the epidemic really hit and the market took a slight toll, and now the stock market's back up to nosebleed levels again, and people were already facing problems before, but with now it's being but put inside the market. Everyone, you can't escape these issues. I'm just saying that the real effects, especially in the real estate market, haven't been felt yet. And millions of people are getting help from all kinds of lenders. According to the latest available numbers from the Credit Bureau, TransUnion, about 3 million auto loans and 15 million credit card accounts are in some kind of program to let people skip or make partial payments. These are probably low estimates, according to analytics company Black Knight. 4.7 million homeowners, or 9% of all mortgages, have entered the forbearance plans. Lawmakers don't want these delayed payments to hurt credit scores. Wow. Congress mandated that people who were current on their payments before the outbreak should still be reported as current on their payments while in the hardship program. And that appears to be working for now. All of these methods eventually just making the crash even bigger. But again, it hasn't hit yet, so be very careful. I keep stressing enough. Be careful, especially in the space when you're looking to purchase a home, you're flipping homes, or you're buying rental properties, because all of this has time, and that momentum, that lag time hasn't really kicked in. I can't stress that enough. What we're seeing consistently across the board is actually credit scores are moving upward, says Matthew Comas, the vice president at TransUnion. He says that both on a month-to-month and year-over-year basis. But look ahead, advocates said, people could run into big troubles because the terms of these hardship programs can be all over the map. Credit cards, auto loans, installment loans, there are no federal guidelines, says Araceli Penemigo, a director at the Nonprofit Center of Responsible Lending. She said when it comes to time to make up for all those skipped payments, there are federal rules for repayment plans for home mortgages, but not for many other types of loans. So she says lawmakers need to protect people. Otherwise, she says lenders could make demands beyond what people can afford. You must have a capacity to catch up with your payments in an affordable way, Penemigo says. Chi Wu, the National Consumer Law Center, agrees without better protections when it comes to time to make up for missed payments, there's going to be a lot of people who could experience a massive credit reporting harm, says Wu, an attorney focusing on consumer credit issues. Unlike the rules for mortgages, consumer advocates say the vast majority of people hurt financially during the outbreak who entered a forbearance plan should have their missed payments moved to the end of the loan term. Right. That keeps monthly payments the same as they were before and just extends the amount of time to pay the loan. Some other types of lenders are using this approach. Ford tells NPR taking missed payments and moving them to the end of the auto loan term. For the most part, many lenders say that to keep helping people, they need a government conduit through which to borrow money themselves. Bill Himpler is president and CEO of the American Financial Services Association, where represent lenders who make car loans, personal loans, and mortgages, and offer credit cards. If we can't keep the lights on because things have seized up, it's not good for anybody. He says it's not good for the customer, it's not good for the company, it's not good for the economy. One big thing lawmakers need to resolve is whether to extend the federal government's expanded unemployment benefits. Getting unemployment money is the biggest reason for most people who lost jobs are to pay rent and keep a roof over their heads. Again, this is when the government gave out that much money through time and people still not getting it. That's unprecedented. It hasn't been done before. And while some people are going back to work, many others are not. When the $600 a week unemployment insurance runs out at the end of July, most people expect tremendous displacement risks, says Andrew Jacobevis with the affordable housing nonprofit Enterprise Community Partners. Evictions are likely to go through the roof. And with eviction moratoriums expiring in parts of the country, he says action is needed right away to help people who can't pay the rent as the pandemic drags on. Meanwhile, as many with other aspects of the coronavirus outbreak, there are disparities along socioeconomic and racial lines. Panama says her group did a national survey to see who was having trouble paying the bills after the pandemic struck. 25% of Latinos have already fallen behind with their payments, she said. 28% of African Americans have fallen behind. That compares to 12% of whites that have fallen behind. Again, it's just, if you're in the real estate market, really it's just anything. This is going to affect everybody, and you're going to have a toll, even if you think that you're not going to be affected. Let's listen to this video. Hopefully it plays a little bit live.
This message comes from NPR sponsor CrowdStrike, protecting businesses from cyber attacks, ransomware, and data theft. Whether working from home or in the office, CrowdStrike's security cloud is designed to keep data safe. Check it out at crowdstrike.com/NPR.
Americans are skipping payments on mortgages, auto loans, and other bills. Normally, that could mean massive foreclosures, car repossessions, people's credit destroyed. But help from Congress and leniency from lenders have kept a looming financial disaster at bay for millions of people. Without more help, though, that might not last for long, as NPR's Chris Arnold reports.
Lawmakers and lenders of all kinds are trying to build a financial bridge to the future for people who've lost their income in the pandemic. But experts warn that the bridge is only half built. For one thing, the help isn't reaching some people that need it.
My name's Jonathan Baird. We live in Brewston, Tennessee, and I am a disabled veteran.
Baird gets a small disability pension, but after the pandemic hit, his wife lost her job as a home health aide. That was most of their income. And as a contract worker, she's run into delays with unemployment.
My wife has filed certified every week for her unemployment for 10 weeks now, and they have done nothing. We've struggled.
Baird says his mortgage company told him that he didn't qualify for a federal program to postpone payments, but many homeowners have been given wrong or misleading information from lenders, and it appears that's what happened in Baird's case. He also called Ford Motor Company to try to get a break in the payments for his pickup truck.
When I contacted them, they told me that there was nothing they could do. Just basically make your payment or suffer the late fees.
Baird says a call center worker told him that since he was late on a car payment last year, he didn't qualify for any help. After NPR contacted Ford, the company said that is not its policy, and Ford is now letting him skip a payment, which he says is a big help.
You know, we're paycheck to paycheck like most people. And when you take away that paycheck, especially for this length of time, we have to make the decision, a vehicle or food.
And many people are getting help. According to the credit bureau TransUnion, about 3 million auto loans are in some kind of program to let people skip or make partial payments, as are 15 million credit card accounts. And those are low estimates. But looking ahead, advocates say that people could run into big trouble because the terms of these hardship programs can be all over the map.
Credit cards, auto loans, installment loans, there are no federal guidelines.
Araceli Panameno is with the Center for Responsible Lending. She says when it comes time to make up for all those skipped payments, there are federal rules for home mortgages, but not for many other types of loans. So she says lawmakers need to protect people here. Otherwise, she says lenders could make demands beyond what people can afford.
You must have a capacity to catch up with your payments in an affordable way.
For their part, many lenders say to keep helping people, they need a government conduit through which to borrow money themselves. Bill Hempler is president and CEO of the American Financial Services Association, which represents lenders who make car loans, personal loans, mortgages, and offer credit cards.
If we can't keep the lights on because things have seized up, it's not good for anybody. It's not good for the customer. It's not good for the company. It's not good for the economy.
One last big thing that lawmakers need to resolve is whether to extend expanded unemployment benefits. They're the biggest reason that most people who've lost jobs are able to pay rent and keep a roof over their heads. And while many people are going back to work, many others are still not. Andrew Jacobovics is with the nonprofit Enterprise Community Partners.
When the $600 a week unemployment insurance runs out at the end of July, most people expect tremendous displacement risk. Evictions are likely to go through the roof. Non-payment is going to be very, very significant.
And with eviction moratoriums expiring in parts of the country, he says action is needed right away to help people who can't pay the rent as this pandemic drags on. Chris Arnold, NPR News.
Again, I just had to play that excerpt.
And now, more from NPR.
Stop it here.
If you heard this sound,
just because when you're hearing all this other news that people being helped and you hear the different stories like this, it's really also for you to be on guard as well. Just if you're lucky enough that people not around you are being affected, don't take that as the commonplace. As you see from these different articles and different this thing is affecting a lot of different people, which you probably already know. I can't stress enough, there's lag times, and with these unprecedented things that's been going on by the government, providing stimulus checks and everything else and helping individuals out, we still haven't really gotten the full blunt of everything yet. This video has been any value to you, please subscribe, leave some comments, hit the like button. Until my next video, as I mentioned before, I'm out.